Clearing. Okay, this is going to be a deep dive into the divine masculines right now. I've got like 7 or 8 questions that aren't the typical ones I'm just going to start with here. So thank you, a divine creator, for bringing through only the highest, most beneficial information for the DMs. This can be support for the DMs. It can also be, actually, you know what I'm going to do? Support for the DMs along the way, what they need to see about these things, what you DMs need to see, what's happening regarding each of the things, what else needs to be illuminated for your truth so that you can make complete sense of the things that are coming through in your realities. I'm going to look at what the divine feminines need to know regarding these things that come up, and what's going to happen next, both in the 3D and in the energetic realms. Now, when I talk about that, you know, it's probabilities, it's spectrums, it's likelihoods based on the energy we're getting. If some of these things aren't in alignment with your timeline right now, no sweating. It could be past, present, or future energies. These are timeless readings. What is the energetic flow from these time-space coordinates forward? Okay, so that's the way energy works. You know, whatever we're tuning into, there are growth curves associated with different trajectories, different paths. So those things are pretty innate, established. When you're on a growth curve, you can have a very linear, predictable thing, or you can, you know, spontaneous remission or backslide. It's a spectrum, and you're somewhere on that line of healing, growth, wholeness, mastery at all times. And so if you can remove yourself and be objective and know that there are various points of consideration along any theme, that's what we tune in here. So we're doing the granddaddy theme of divine love connections. But there are micro karmic things, spectrums within that need to balance out in order. Those would be the obstacles, right? The smaller spectrums of karma, the relevant karmas that keep us from going towards love or not. Those are some of the things that we work on here. So let's have a look at, what do the divine masculines think of the timing of this connection? Let's look at right now. What are the masculines thinking about the timing to come together right now? Wow. So we literally got the world, like, and this was huge in yesterday's reading. So masculines know that there is an ascension happening, that this connection is going to the next level. That right now it's like the overview, it's the closing out, it's the tying up loose ends from past things. What do the masculines need to know about this never going to be the same again kind of motion? Yeah, masculines, you are meant to just simply keep your sights on progress. Now, there is a masculine taking a feminine and a child to safekeeping, smooth waters. So this can be your own inner child healing, masculines, regarding relationship modeling from your own parents' examples or lack thereof. But this is you wanting to do the right thing, to do it right. And that's the general message. So feminines, your masculine wants to do it right. And if they're pausing right now, if they're just sort of hovering at this grand finale before things really come into deeper connection with the two of you, it is because they are very much taking stock, learning from the things that they know don't serve, and really wanting to apply a more stable accountability, foundation, structure going forward. Okay, so what do the feminines need to know about the masculines and this timing? So some of it does have to do with their material realm abundance, that they don't feel like they have fully come into their own with regard to trusting that they have what it takes to actually provide for another. This doesn't necessarily just mean financially. This is emotionally, energetically. Now, with our root chakra, that is the chakra that's connected to material safety, material provision like food, shelter. This can do with any themes to do with generational success or not. So any of the shortcomings of family lines or any of the healing that needs to balance out for money story. But at the core of that, it's all energy. It's all emotion, thoughts. And so they're still balancing out their worthiness. They're coming into their own, believing in themselves, understanding they have what it takes. Money and safety and abundance flow when we get it straight within us, when we heal this inner child stuff, when we see ourselves as finally becoming the woman or man, or take gender how it resonates, that we've always felt our potential to be. There's something about this pause that the masculines are taking to really understand what would make a difference. What is the wholeness that they truly want to embody? What is that character? What is that makeup? They're really looking at what aspects they want to bring forward and, I heard, seal the deal with. So the person that they will feel the most sense of worthiness and pride to offer to another person in life partnership, that is what they are curating for themselves right now. They're really looking at the inside assessment of who they think they are and what they have to offer. And Eight of Cups, they're gone but not gone. From who? The Empress. So the Eight of Cups is a walking away. So they may have taken a step back to get a better look at this, to find a baseline right now. So this timing that's happening right now, or any kind of a distance or pause or whatnot, is just so that the masculines can get a really good, clear look at who they see themselves being now into the future. Okay, what's going to happen next with this? Wow. So this King of Swords, the truth, just kind of did a flip and then hid back in. But they really are energetically, this is my spiritual falconry card, they are sending out these thoughts, these ideas, and they are kind of testing their reality and allowing the mirroring of friends, family, this relationship, everything to boomerang back to them. The curiosities about who they've become, how they can see themselves, how, and this is about communication with the swords, how they are showing up, what they're saying, how they're being received, how they are receiving. It has to do with a lot of the ear and throat chakras, being able to accurately discern the essence, the truth of things, to really feel into. Because this is hidden, they might not be conscious that they're doing this. So masculines, you might not be conscious of this, but you might also be quite conscious that you are changing the way you communicate, that you're being more disciplined, you're not lashing out, you may not be so cut and dry, so all or nothing, you may not be so quick to project or blame. This is really looking at progressive communication, focusing on what really matters. I'm hearing not being so sarcastic anymore even, but really loving everything that you are getting to do at this period of development. There has been a resounding theme that counterparts are in family situations. So many divine masculines are living back at home right now with family, with different in-between living situations. That is such a huge thing in the collective now. And for the feminines, they have really brought children in. There are lots of children, and I want to say custody, but dependence on the feminines, and the masculines are really dependent in some way. This is all root chakra healing. The world can be that final spiritual rite of passage where we heal the root chakra so we can finally release our roots. We're not bound by the dominating wishes, desires, imprinting of the family beliefs, and we can individuate. This is a very high level assessment the masculines are going through right now, where they're really defining who they are and what choices they want to make and the timing of it. I'm getting the sense that when these things click, when this karmic awareness has been found on all these different levels, that the gap with you, divine feminine, will close, and they won't need to keep you sort of off to the side. And it's not that you're on the back burner because you don't matter. It's because you matter so much that the masculines are being diligent to do this healing with those who I just heard those that they were born into the families, or grew up with, that whole paradigm. That is essentially our worldly family, our material realm family, and we can take them along with us. I just saw 1111, or we can individuate, or somewhere in between. We love them and we agree to disagree. But these connections are truly soul connections, and they are of eternal love. They are ascended connections. So the masculines are sorting out right now what is the ascended self and what is the aspects that they need to redeem or heal that was more of the material realm incarnation. There are these worlds coming alive, whether it's conscious or not. They are kind of sifting those two compartments. What can we see energetically that's happening at this time? Portals, possibilities, and options. So that saying that apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Well, the masculines are realizing that they might not even be an apple. They might have been a star fruit on an apple tree. Whoa, that was a starseed joke. The starseeds are saying that was their joke. The ancestors sometimes come through. The starseeds, the Star family just made that joke. So amazing. Anyways, masculines, there are portals, possibilities, and options. And feminines, we can step into uncharted territory. Anything goes. We're not bound by the material realm rules and regulations, limitations anymore. There are much more high frequency, fun-loving, adventurous, unusual, never before seen options coming in when we truly just get to be those who can play and allow ourselves to really go for the abundance and love in this life. So masculines are doing a lot of work in this sort of limbo phase, if you want to call it that. They are definitely thinking about all of it, and you are not far from their thoughts. I'm going to ask, what are they specifically thinking of the feminines at this point? Because the Empress did show up here with the gone but not gone. What are the masculines specifically thinking? Yeah, justice in the making. So it's not in the upright here, but this is the prerequisite for the justice coming in. Like the masculines have to ascend in order for these connections to live up to their potential, and for the masculines to realize their potential. They have to have this period of integration. Us. What are the insecurities the masculines have about themselves that they are releasing right now? What can we see, masculines? What are the insecurities? Wow, that they don't have what it takes. Look at that. We have the same card here, the progress that we have, Six of Swords, Six of Swords. So this is the paradigm shift, that they are insecure, that they don't have the capacity. Their ego wants to say, it's never been done before, so why should it happen this time? So that's the insecurity that the masculines are having, that there isn't a track record in their own personal experience or in the human experience for this true love, this real deal on the planet. So the masculines are, that is their insecurity, that they don't know the answers, that they haven't seen a viable solution here, that they have to rely on their wisdom, their connection to source, their love, you, this inspiration, and that they're going at it not entirely blindly, but without the guidebook. Okay, what can the masculines take away from this? Okay, we get divine feminine showing up a second time here, but in the inverse. So masculines, what I'm really getting from this is, yes, your feminine is the boss of their life, but you are really cautiously looking at her, their, take gender how it resonates, example, their independent example for cues, but it's complementary. It's not to be emulated identically. You are meant to be taking cues from your feminine and this tandem design that you're both creating. You're meant to be taking cues from your feminine and complementary actions. So yes, you are meant to be considering your feminine, but not what you think your feminine thinks they need. This is about the muse, the energy that you are inspired to do. And so this is truly first person worth giving. I saw a short on YouTube the other day that there was a man, and forgive me, I don't remember who it was. It was a short that I was scrolling through, and it said something about saying to partners that when a man does anything for you, accept it, because men it seems impossible for a man to justify their own existence. And so whenever a man is generous, whenever a man gives, that their partner should receive that without, criticizing that is not good enough, because it's this growing confidence that can come in, and in time, the feminine can show the masculine what they truly need. But anything is worthy of cultivating, especially those gifts of self that a man offers freely. We see you, masculines. We love you. That's why we're sticking through this, because that's actually what the feminine sees in you that inspires the feminine to keep doing this work, to keep growing, to keep, putting down the fluffiness, putting down the overgiving, putting down the fake, putting down the mask, putting down that, love bombing or stimulating. My person, I said something a little bit fluffy the other day, and my person messaged me, stop. And I was admittedly going a little bit, I was romanticizing. I was in sort of a fake. And as soon as I got that stop, I was like, oh shit. That wasn't, I was expressing more of a energy, and I didn't need to do it. And it schooled me. I took the cue, and I was like, yeah, you're right. That wasn't as genuine as it could be. And I stopped instantly. And so masculines can't just take their feminine's example and defer. Masculines, you're meant to look at your feminine and take inspiration from it and just keep working up that ladder. So what can we see for what the feminines need to know about this? Or where the feminines stand? On the floor, Ten of Swords. So abandonment triggers that fell out into the past. So if your masculine doesn't just, jump through your hoops, we don't want that. That's karmic. If your masculine doesn't show up in the way that you want them to, they are independent. So this did fall out in the distant past. So feminines largely are getting over this abandonment wound, and that's why you're allowed to hold, or that you've been guided to hold space for your masculine's becoming and allow them this process with this total unconditional love, because this is, you've gone through this rite of passage where you understand compassionately what it's like to push through these insecurities and push through the not knowing and push through the dark night, the no trail guide phase. So yes, masculines are coming into their own, and they are exercising their independence here by, you know, taking space, friend zoning, wanting to lead the connection at a rate that serves them. Now, that is not selfish. They are asking you for what they need, feminines. And you are the one person that can honor and respect that, because you have come through a rite of passage and they intuitively know that you are solid enough to do this with them. You are comrades that way. What's going to be happening next regarding this? Okay, so more focus on the energetics beyond the material realm. This is what we think is going on the surface, and this is what is really going on. So both are going to come to more of an awareness about what is really going on here. And that means we're designing it for ourselves. So the masculines are coming into the active design phase of this curating who they really want to be in their fullest. So many of them are changing diets, working out, getting new jobs, getting new friend groups, being leaders in their existing communities, friend groups. They are stepping into their empowerment. They are stepping away from the things that they always followed the herd with, or the things that they were afraid to branch out from. They're doing that. And so this is where masks are continuing to come off, survival mechanisms are continuing to come off, and we're blossoming. What can we see for the energetics coming up into the future regarding these insecurities? Seal of Venus, self-love, protection, and elemental magic. So have a lot of self-love right now, feminines and masculines, because this is a major rite of passage. In the guidebook, this one says that the angels and elementals are around you. So I'm saying around both counterparts right now, kind of carving out a sacred time, this bubble of time right now. I just saw 2211 is designed for this incubation of becoming. So feminines, this is really where you're no longer taking it 2222, no longer taking it personally that your masculine is there or not. There's a sovereign understanding of true connection now. And masculines, you've got the time you need right now to really get in tune with who you are and what you want in your life, who you want to show the world, how you want to weave your past into who you are and who you will be going forward. This is where you really fall in love with yourself, and there's a lot of protection in place to afford you this. So if there have been major changes in your life right now, tower moments, things that have happened that have been blessings in disguise, you're starting to see the blessing in disguise here, because ironically, it's given you some downtime, some change of speed, some different demands or lack of demands on you right now, so that you can go deep into this philosophical mode and really draw on your creative juices right now, masculines. So feminines, this is an exciting time right now where the masculines are strong enough to face this insecurity that they won't feel satisfied with the ways that the world says we should have success, and admit that they don't yet have an example of what is to be their personal brand of success, but they are allowing themselves to really creatively look at that and mull it over right now. I'm seeing masculines doing a lot of mundane things, deep in thought. It's beautiful. Okay, what do the masculines want to change in this connection? What is it that the masculines would like to see different in this connection at this time? If anything, what are they wishing to change. They're in hermit mode for exactly that. They are literally looking at the destined path. This is typically the star of destiny, but they are in their shell to think about it. So they are in a hermit mode right now. They've gone deep within into their protective shell here to really look at this innovative direction. So the insecurities is that they don't have what it takes, but this is the rite of passage that informs them and supports them. So yeah, what do the masculines need to know about this hermitage right now? What do you need to know? Wow, ending anxiety. So anxiety, we got the Nine of Swords, which is a card of anxiety. I got one more I haven't looked at yet. This is a period of time for you to simply do what is necessary. When you have anxiety, you're either spinning your wheels about known problems without a clue on how to bring in change, or you're misguided. You're not thinking accurately. You're telling yourself lies. You're down a downward spiral. In the inverse like this, you do have what it takes to work this puzzle, to slay the dragons, and to solve these things. So if there are things that suddenly feel like a relief, that you suddenly have an innovative thought and you go, oh, that's so crazy, it might just work. Or, oh, that actually feels good. Or, yeah, that's exactly what I need to do right now. Never mind 20 steps into the future. All I need to do right now to alleviate some burden, some pressure is XYZ. That's what you need to focus on, masculines, because just letting go of the things that are burdensome or misguided is what will allow for you to be so practical, so grounded with what you are bringing in and going to be channeling as a way of life. So when we don't have a example from our upbringing or from the world, we don't have a lot of mentors. When we are coming into the spiritual mastery and leadership, we're designing it. So this mechanism where you go into hermit mode, you're looking at the big picture, you're desiring to see what is in alignment for you, you're including all the things that are loyal, true blue things in your life that are coming forward, including your feminine and certain friends, certain family beliefs, all of the things that will come forward. You're looking at where you stand, the things that are dear to you, that do feel good, and you're trying to figure out where that will fit into the big picture. Whatever comes up, no matter how outlandish or strange it is, if it doesn't feel anxious, entertain that thought with gusto. Look at those things, prioritize those things. If you start thinking about the things that don't work, stay with it until you understand why you're focusing on that, what it's there to show you, about pointing you in the right direction. If you can, just take cue from the things that don't feel good and say, what would an alternative or the alternative be? Do that. But this is a period of time where you are being asked to innovate by channeling these things, going to higher guidance, looking outside the predictive programming and the known universe, the known box that you've been raised in for solutions. Yeah. So the card I didn't see was this left out in the cold. This is the housing card. Just in this deck, this is housing consideration and solutions for housing. This is neutrality. So masculines are very much looking at living situation going forward. And I did open this with the root chakra message that there are many, many, many masculines that are right now living with parents or, in certain situations where they aren't on their own 2 feet at this time. And housing does have to do with it. This is also the necessity that brings counterparts together in some regards, I'm hearing, because there are solutions, there are practical solutions right now that the masculines are looking at. This can also be creative living situations that solve problems regarding those beautiful friends and work situations. I just heard multi-family dwellings. There are really innovative, more tribal, more communal things that are coming to the forefront right now in the energy I can feel, where masculines are having unconventional ideas about living situations, or, you know, humbling themselves that they don't have to have just simply a mansion on the hill for themselves to be a provider for a feminine. This is real practical necessity regarding houses and things. So masculines do want to change living situations. They want to end hardship. They want to take emotional burden out of home life, family stressors, all that. Wow, very cool. What is the feminine to know about this message of what the masculines would change? Knight of Pentacles. So they're working on this foundation. Knight of Pentacles is the slow, steady progress. It's bricks being laid in the foundation. Neutrality. Have neutrality right now, feminines, about where you see progress or not, because like we already knew, this hermitage that the masculines are in, they are up to things. They're up to something in there, and they are cracking the codes. They are channeling this, and especially the ones that get to watch this video. Yes, masculines, I love it when you comment in the comments below. It warms my heart that these messages are so well received. Yeah, but feminines, definitely don't be saddened by the distance right now, because your masculine loves and cares so much for you, for them, for the next generations, for, you know, people. They really have a heart. Okay, what's coming up next in the connections regarding the masculines being in hermit mode, about living situations and about living anxiety, about, you know, the system, the machine. They want to get out of that matrix. They want to solve the process here. Well, I'm getting the Devil and King of Wands masculine here. They both looked at me on either side of the deck. So that is materialism, but it's the material realm limitations. And this is the shaman, the ambassador, the diplomat under heaven. This is the chieftain that comes in and, you know, dances with the devil and said, okay, that's the known limitation, but I am stationed on most high and I'm bringing in creative solutions. So this is a huge indicator that the masculines are going to figure this out. They are going to crack the code. The passion they feel, and you as an inspiration, that Queen of Wands, Divine Feminine, is empowering them out of necessity to figure out what to do next here. Don't doubt that. What is the energetic card we can see? Universal understanding and objective observation. So yes, masculines are big picture thinking about these solutions. They are literally in hermit mode, looking to a grand plan, a long-term strategy. This is life partner kind of material. And so don't fear that the masculines are being dismissive right now. They are really looking at the big picture, and whatever their circumstances are at this time is allowing them to take a step back and survey the land. They are surveying the prospects. They are surveying the feelings they have about the potentials they are seeing. I'm hearing they're going to get a stroke of genius. I actually want to pause the card or the questions I have right now and get one card to speak on that stroke of genius. So what is it? Thank you, Divine Creator. What is it we can see for the masculines in this hermit mode, for support for the masculines right now regarding surveying the big picture, the landscape? We get the circle. It came out in the inverse. That's sort of reminding me of the World card and this overview energy that we're getting, this status quo, the known templates, and looking at this incredible big picture. I just want to shout out to the genius of the masculines right now, because you dudes are something else. Like, how sexy is that? You innovative, big picture, genius thinking creatives, you. Like, seriously. The micro to the macro, you are something else. Okay. Unification, interconnectedness, and a sense of continuum is what this card implies. The circle reminds us that we are all one. Do unto others, I just heard. Dancers in a unified, continuous, inclusive circle. What we do for self, we do for other. Masculines are really tapping into solving the stresses for themselves and knowing that those solutions are paramount for other, for you, divine feminine, for their families, for friends, for community. Masculines, you are really getting there. This reminds us that the circles or the cycles of life and the evolving self, ever changing and always connected, human, spirit, nature, the cosmos, are all intrinsically connected. When the circle comes to you as your medicine, you're meant to come to an understanding of the importance of decay and letting go, the importance of dying to an old form and being born anew. If you are faced with the challenge of loss or disappointment, remember this: the circle of life, nothing is wasted. Love will seek itself again. Prosperity will come from a new idea or opportunity, and spirit always waits for you to find your place within the dance again. So masculines, yes, we saw that their world, their known world, is coming to a close, and they are now in the design phase for the new earth templates, this ambassador of the higher realms coming in to bring this incredible path forward. Masculines, let that empower you. You are being stationed as leaders, no matter what your age is. You are seen, you are known among the cosmos as the change makers, masculines. Aho. Okay, let's look at, so the next question I was asked to bring in is what regrets they may have that they are needing to release, because they are releasing the guilt, shame about how they haven't been further along in these connections, or how they haven't seen these connections as viable yet in some ways, what the collective masculines are still working through. So what they regret are these tower moments that they've brought in, these out of nowhere, like spastastic, frustrated, misleading moments where they've sabotaged, where they've just cut it off, where they've like and they've caused destruction here. So it's not that that is a bad thing, because that has really, when lightning and thunder happen, masculines, the forest is infused, or the meadows is infused with nitrogen, and everything puffs up with green. Everything gets incredibly energized and alive. So don't hate yourself, masculines, for these times when you have come in and lightning strikes. That's what I'm hearing. But what do the masculines need to know about these times that they regret, that they feel they could have done a different way, that they could have been more elegant, more articulate, more clear, less brutal, less blunt, less rude? What can we see? Masculines, you're learning, you're entitled, you're justified in your feelings. And yeah, maybe you've been crass, maybe you've been clumsy, but we're getting smoother, aren't we? I just heard Rico Suave. Okay, masculines, what do you need to know about these voice of God in thunder and lightning, the Thor's hammer? What about these Thor hammer times, masculine? What can we see? What do they need to know? Okay, it's coming from heartache. These were always the times when your tender hearts have been touched. The rawness was touched. And so these times, in divine connections, we're not meant to, in a karmic way, get a speed wobble together. We're not meant to take this out on each other. So when you've been triggered because of past heartache, because of misconceptions, again, the Three of Swords is the errors of the world, the faulty logic of the world, the false self-concept, and the falsity about how we're interpreting our person, our divine counterpart, through that lens. And so neutralize that every time we reach this tower moment within, we do act out. And sometimes all we can do is pull a stop, full stop. But it's coming from this aha moment in the suffering department. So we have epiphanies and we have these triggers. And so everybody involved here the regrets, yes, but they are blessings in disguise, because in a karmic sense, we haven't stayed enmeshed and codependent and wallowing. There has been, in these divine connections, a stop, and then each counterpart going to meditation, going to connection to source, going into their own integration and healing. The Four of Swords is the healing that comes after the Three of Swords, the integration, the be still and know. And so when you've pulled this, masculines, it's okay to regret it. Now that you are knowing how to handle it better, it goes hand in hand with the fact that you are more healed. And so you're not as triggered, which is a beautiful thing to recognize, because a message like this does not come out unless you're gaining ground in your healing and you're becoming more stable, so you don't have to do this anymore. So feminines, this is a beautiful day that this message is coming out, because the masculines are now dealing with the regret of having done it this way. The towers, when they're triggered, do not take it personally. If anything, it's a testament to the intimacy that you've been able to share together, that they would be touching on their deepest, darkest. It doesn't mean we have to flog in that scenario. And energetic flogging can be you, feminines, not believing that your masculine can get through this or taking it personally. That kind of chasing, flogging energy is fear. It's fear. And if we can clear that, keep the feminine's vibe high, it allows the masculines to deal with their thing, that lick their wounds, level up when they are aware of the things that were suppressed and brought to the surface when these moments of triggering happened. And so as they grow, they're going to ask for this space. They're going to feel safer when these kinds of events happen, and it will streamline. This is happening. This is beautiful. Okay, what do the feminines need to know about this? This is now my favorite reading. Every reading lately has become my favorite reading. What do the feminines need to know? We get Knight of Wands. So this is where the masculines are ramping up the true passion. This is what makes or breaks, when we are able to process this with no questions asked, we come out the other side more supported, more victorious, because we've seen the light in our own right. We haven't been force-fed, or somebody hasn't made us feel undermined because they've been telling us so, or preaching, or convincing. When the masculines go off into their own zone to do this for themselves, that's what really turns them on. And honestly, feminines, that should turn you on so much. You should not presume to have walked in your masculine shoes and to be able to tell them what they need to come to on their own. And that's the key for this incredible, charismatic, sexy energy coming in, because when they do honestly come to it on their own, va-va-voom. What can we see going forward here? Wow, the world. So this is also this passion, this sexual chemistry ramping up again, is because, feminines, you are letting the masculines ascend, come through this processing, the integration of the lessons, the karmic lessons. They've seen the light. The world comes after we've seen the light. And this is just the making sense of it all, period. This is the integration phase before the ascension of these connections. And so this is the passion ramping up, because we are getting on the same page in the higher. This is like the masculine's about ready to pop into the 5D and be in this like a child, not sexually, but, freedom, that no holds barred, the magical playground of the 5D level of manifestation, where we know our worth, we know that nothing can hold us down, that our lives are for us to design. The masculines are offloading the burden so they can be free that way and be able to play with you, feminines, without, taking it too seriously, without feeling like they're going to F it all up all the time, without being triggered this way. This is where they can truly show up and meet you in that sacred sexual energy without their monkey mind hashing and rehashing worries of the world. This is where they are up-leveling out of the cares of the world. And this process of triggering and asking for space is getting easier. Okay, what can we see for the energetic level? What an amazing reading. Ascension. Oh my gosh. Ascension, surrender, purification, blue star of hope. So this is the hope of the future. This is really, you know, it's been tough. It's been tough. The triggering, the tower moments in these connections have been tough, but we are getting there. So they regret that. And that's also why it will never happen again, because they are working that puzzle, because they don't like it. They know you don't like it. Who would? They don't like it. And they're working on this. So it is up-leveling. Rest assured, it is up-leveling. And I just saw the 24 on this. 2024 is going to be a whole different year. I'm getting this is like the Christmas star too. So there's going to be a lot of changes. We've got those eclipses coming up in this month. And then we've got the 12/12 portal. And then, you know, 2024 is a whole different ball game. Whole different ball game. We are really closing things out this year. And the world can be that big life lessons happening in this whole year too, this spin around the sun. Okay, what do the masculines feel confident in and of themselves? What is it that the masculines are gaining confidence in and feeling empowered by regarding themselves? Oh, union, 11/11. This is the union energies with the counterpart. So they are feeling confident that they have a spiritual foundation, an energetic knowledge, a growing support, that they are looking at this connection, this divine connection, as central to their becoming. There is this beautiful, I'm looking at the blue here, this inner outer transformation that's happening at the core with this union within, the reflection they see in you, and this world, this whole life-changing external catalyzation they're going through in their whole world this way. I just saw a bulldozer moving through and removing everything that must go because of this purity coming in. So masculines are so soul empowered by this journey. This is absolutely stunning. You know, they are becoming masters. Masculines, what do you need to know about this? 11/11. Watch for the numbers 11/11, masculines. These are indicators you're passing these markers and this union is taking place. Watch for 11/11. What do masculines need to see here? Justice and the Hierophant, both in the inverse. So justice, divine justice, higher justice, energetic justice. You're getting these downloads as you come into this unity consciousness, this union energy. Justice will prevail, but it's going to be higher justice. It's going to not only just be things of the world, but transcendent things. This is next level stuff. Hold on to your bootstraps, masculines, because this is going to be an incredible new level of things you never imagined. You know, that American dream, iconic stuff we've been fed is the way to do it. That is now becoming obsolete in lieu of this energetic wholeness and fulfillment. This is beautiful. You ain't seen nothing yet, masculines. What do the feminines need to know about this? Wow, 2024 is going to be something else. Knight of Cups. When the masculines are coming into this innovation, as they get these transmissions from higher guidance, as they start to bring in not just temporary fix, like temporary justice, but long-term solutions. This is where life purpose and innovation is coming in the face of necessity. Necessity breeds innovation. So that's what we're seeing here. The masculines are all faced with certain necessities at hand, and they are asking for higher guidance to solve those things and trusting that they can have solutions here. So this is beautiful because this is different than what they are insecure about. But that insecurity where they don't know if they have what it takes is the yin yang to this knowing that they do have the start of what it takes, and that it's not found in ego. It is channeled from a higher place, that it is not of their earthly power and origin, but of love and of eternal alignment. These are the things that are set to come in right now. And when they find this, love is exuded from them. This is where they are generous of spirit. This is where they are not fearful that your connection is going to stunt the growth and squish this alchemical process that's going on in them right now. They need this space and time to be in their alchemical laboratories, to bring in this communion, this meditation, this way of life. This is stunning stuff. So feminines, just know that anytime your masculines extend something towards you, that they are truly coming from a different place. Watch for it. Watch to see this serene, beautiful wholeness. It's going to be quite like a holy person, I'm hearing. It's going to be a golden glow. You're going to see the difference, that they are truly becoming happy. Ooh, what do the feminines need, or what do we need to see about what happens next? Mercy, humility. So feminines, this is the high priestess. This is everybody continuing to be still and know. I want to say we got justice, the high priest and the high priestess here. So this is happening. Everybody is grounding higher instruction right now. Everybody, we need to ground the ability to do this in a sovereign way, so that as these unions come in, we are continuing to keep this particular spiritual practice as a central go-to within the connection. A lot of times we do this independently and then come together in connections, and we forget to include this higher focus within the relationship. The relationship becomes disconnected from source if it hasn't established strongly enough, and the relationship gets off track because we forget to think outside of the ego. And so this truly is where we are having enough spaciousness, enough time apart, where these triggers, where this wounding, where this personal integration is taking root, so that we can design our lives as a way of life with both counterparts in this high priest and high priestess ability to transmute independently. This is the unity consciousness that's coming in. This is what the masculines are feeling most confident about. This is absolutely incredible. And I'm hearing the masculines saying that this connection is the first one where the feminine hasn't talked over them or tried to assert a dominance. Ooh. So feminines, if you are struggling with that, really tap into this cooling, calming yin energy, and not take a back seat, but sit down and really allow yourself to be corrected, and know that you want your masculine to bring forward their wisdom. You want them to do that. What is the energy? Right, serenity. This is that serene. I'm always not surprised, but so amazed by oracle reading. And I just channeled how serene this simple line drawing looks and the vibe I'm getting from that. And then we get transcendence. We're transcending, we are ascending, we are learning to transmute together. Masculines are doing this. They may not call it spirituality. They may not feel it, in those paradigms, but they are nonetheless moving negativity to positive thoughts. They are making lemonade out of lemons. They are finding solutions. They are channeling progress. Prayerfulness. This is where both the high priest and the high priestess, this is the justice coming in, because the counterparts are remembering to ask a higher guidance system. And this is the peace that passes understanding. that we don't have to have it figured out by the ways of the world, that we can just open up to a solution and ask for it to come in. This is the confidence that the masculines are understanding. This is where the burden becomes light. This is where the anxiety is released. This is where we align and we stop writhing against the destined path and we float downstream. This is where we give up the struggle and we just say, what is necessary? What can be done? What is available? Who loves me? Ooh, what a message. Okay, so what are the masculines confident about specifically with this connection? I love this reading. I love it. What is the masculine most confident about regarding this connection? Oh, the moon. You as a divine feminine divulging yourself. You know, in the beginning, when you spoke emotionally or when you gave them a download, when you were triggered to, you know, the masculines brought in the tower and then the feminine tells it like it is. That stuff, that's smoothing out. That's what they are really loving. Every time they do the action that brings in a tower and you still show up bravely and respond with love, they are becoming supported by this. They are no longer mystified by the feminine way. They are now seeing the wisdom. They are receiving the grace. They are understanding. And you're not so volatile with it, feminines. As you come out of more deeply karmic ways, you are also becoming more trustworthy, more divine, more clear-spoken, more heart-centered. And so this is what the masculines are most confident about in this connection, is that they are no longer triggering backlash when they express themselves. They are now being shown depth and wisdom and maturity and love from their feminine. Booyah! Dang, this reading. You guys timestamp all the beauty in this reading, please. There's just so much gold in this reading. Okay, what can we see for what the masculines, what do you need to know about this, masculines? Doing the inner work and opening the heart. 4 and 8 of Pentacles. So we've got an equation here. So as you open your heart, more work, more specialization can be done. As you express, masculines, your feminine keeps matching you and expressing, and it's allowing for both of you to know what to do next. Because when you express yourself, your feminine responds, and if anything is needed for progress, that becomes evident, and then we can include that. You know, this is the material realm. This is where things start coming into the physical on such a high level of excellence. This is the card of the specialist coming in, and it has to do with this birthing into the physical, where we've moved past, we're unafraid to keep matching each other in whatever season and partnering this way, continuing to stick with it and allow it to have its way with us and make the physical changes and bravely change up how we've been before and grow and progress. We're seeing that here. That's what you need to see wholeheartedly, masculines, that this has been a work in progress and it has been progressive. It has been shifting whole actions, not just internal paradigms, but physical changes have happened in the connection. I know in my connection that I have been blocked. I have been told goodbye. I have been shut out. And now I've been told, you know, keep the romantic sexual stuff out of it. That's fucking progress. You know, that there is no reason why two beautiful, love-filled beings need to, you know, be thrown into the far reaches of the universe. We can establish a common ground, and we don't have to throw out the good ones. We don't. We can keep the good ones there, and we can be respectful of where people are at unconditionally. That is a very good thing, and that's what I'm seeing in this, that we can match stride for stride with what is appropriate at any given time. What do the feminines need to know about this? Wheel of Fortune. So it's all been divinely guided. This fell on the twin flames, I was going to say. This fell on the moon opening its secrets. Every time there has been an intimacy that's touched on the rawness, it's blown apart. The masculines have blown it apart with a tower. They've put a boundary, and then the feminine has said their piece. This has been divinely guided. Mic drop. What can we see about this going forward? So this is actually the confidence that the masculines are having. They are taking peace in this progressive motion. Yeah, we're going to start seeing more of this gaining speed. Baby steps, sure footing, one after another. This is the infinity symbol here. Ships are coming in. This is the abundance. These people, the ships are coming towards now. These are the opportunities. This is the abundance unlocking. This is the heavenly inheritance coming in, meaning the 5D, the energetic inheritance coming in. This is abundance. This is the change. We are the change. This is the change. We're seeing that. We're going to start seeing evidence of it. This balancing coming in. What is the energetic thing? Whoa, this reading. Seriously. We get duality, contrast, trust and balance, and form, structure, foundation, cosmology, seal of Metatron. Okay, so these changes, this abundance, this miraculous way of manifesting where we look at what serves rather than the victim blame projection things of what didn't serve. We've crossed the hump. We've overcome that. We're getting up into these higher levels. Trust the process, trust the journey. Okay, and the last one I have here is, do they trust your love, feminines? So masculines, are you in trust of this love? They're working on it. We do have temperance here, but it's in the inverse. So that is part of the refining fire here that is purifying so that these unions can be kept safe when they come together. They won't come together if the trust isn't there. The trust is there when we've burned away all of the things that aren't eternal, all of the fear on our hearts, unadulterated by fear. It's happening. This fire is burning away the fear because we are being empowered. We're being brought up through into energetic purity. So what do the masculines need to know about the process of keeping trust? Okay, third parties condensing into the two. So I'm hearing this is the time where third parties are fully released. This means not, going to others. Masculines, you're going to see that your feminine really doesn't actually just go off and be with someone else when you turn your back, or that your feminine is not somebody that actually is of that low character, that there might have been so many times, I'm just hearing hoes, that would do that. But your feminine is so pure and they're so into you, and they know they're so connected to the divine, and that's where they're getting their assurance about this connection. It's not about, filling the void or needing instant gratification or ego stroking. They're no longer drawn to that temporary fix. Ain't nobody got time for that. So masculines, you're going to see more evidence that even if you push them away, they're not going to go into the arms of someone else. That's what I'm getting there. So masculines are needing to see that right now. They haven't always been aware, and there is such that instinct that's triggered, the competitive instinct that's triggered when, somebody goes off and is with someone else. Those games being played that causes somebody to be jealous and fight for their person. No, that's like passé. That is so karmic. That's so of earthly drama. We are really truly moving past it. And the masculines, by default, this implies the masculines are past that too, because they have eyes to see it. In the past, they may not have. In the past, that may have done a number on them. But now they have come through. I think a lot of the poly exploration has tempered things in some ways, but I also don't think it's the answer. I feel like when we do give ourselves permission to just be autonomous and explore our options, we do learn to discern which things are a match and our preference. And we do learn when we just run to things for instant gratification or when it's actually authentic. We saw that message the other day about if you're going to do something you'll regret later, you better be sure you're having fun while doing it. We're getting a little bit more savvy and we're understanding that that fun isn't so fun anymore. And so masculines are going to be seeing that your feminine is like legit. They just actually don't think it's fun to go off and just be fickle like that. And you're going to see, oh, and I'm seeing temperance on this. Even just in this section, we've got the temperance showing up, this divine justice, this higher justice. Remember, masculines, you manifested this feminine as an answer to prayer because of who you are and your path with your connection to source and your own ascension. Don't forget for a second that you also, your feminine asked for you, you asked for your feminine. And this is justice. This is the temperance coming in. But what can we see for what the feminines need to know? Oh, that was also a message that the feminines are healed. Okay, the lovers, this is the love, the higher templates grounding, which is also us ascending and matching the frequency of what was already there. We're rising up as these heavenly templates are coming down. We're rising up to meet them. And we get that Two of Coins, the changes happening. Seven of Cups is the clouds clearing and these things appearing. It's like going to be evident that the confusion that kept us locked in karmic patterns is that fog that's clearing. And we're starting to see fidelity. We're starting to see truth. We're starting to see it realized, embodied in these counterparts. We are seeing the ascended selves coming out of the fog. I'm seeing counterparts walking out of the fog of karma and towards each other. Wow, what a visual. It's beautiful. Maybe that's what we're talking about when we see things in the clouds. But okay, or in the book of Revelations where the clouds parted and what can we see for the near future for these connections regarding this healing, regarding these things falling away? Wow, joy and celebration, taming the beast, the ego, wishing for things, not wishing for gluttony, but wishing for real, wishing for humble, wishing for chill, wishing for balanced, wishing for true friendship. And I'm getting here with the feminines on this card that there's not going to be so much catty competition between women, that our divine sisters are going to be honored and celebrated, and trustworthiness. When the feminine was pitted as objects, interchangeable, so much catty mistrust, so much fear of other women, Jezebel spirit, all of that. So this harmony is coming back together where women are no longer fearing other women, no longer fearing that other women would be in survival and sneaky and adulterous energy. So masculines, you don't have to worry that your feminines are drawn to that low vibe stuff. They have come through the repression. They're not turned on by those repressed sexual disintegrated things anymore, where they're needing to possess and grab. They don't want that anymore. They see that that was gluttony or greed or fear or lack. There is a beast being tamed. Masculines, you can do this within you. Your intuition, that feminine yin yang, the small dot in your high heart that is connected with your feminine external, that bit in you that knows right from wrong, that knows that temporary gratification doesn't sustain anymore. That's where true monogamy and true love is coming in here. And as you balance out and you allow your knowledge of what does it for you and what doesn't, and what feels peaceful and true and what feels anxious and you will be giving yourself more permission to just choose your feminine and trust. This is where trust is coming in. Yeah, so it is pretty close to being shown that it's of an energetic, it's a maturity, a capacity to discern what is beneficial for someone or not. So masculines, watch your feminine for being in the maturity that knows the value of long-term knowing rather than fickle or, repressed and just acting out and thinking they need to be overly sexual with a bunch of people in order to feel their worthiness or have their ego stroked. We've got this humility coming in where you're going to see your feminine has dignity, has self-love, that doesn't need that doesn't need to act out the abuses and the traumas anymore, that doesn't need to be in that secretive, slimy, seductress, temptress energy, that can be in broad daylight, that can be known, that is presentable, that is blameless, that is healed, that is fully ready for connection. We get divinity, honor, responsibility, and humility, temple of perfected essence. So yeah, we are seeing specifically masculines that your feminine is stepping into this perfected essence, divinity, with their sexuality. They will settle for nothing less than a divine connection. They are not drawn to the things of the world anymore, the gluttonous things of the world. I'm hearing gold digger or fickle or, competitive templates. Your feminine has healed this. They are not at odds with other feminines. They're not trying to one up other feminine energy anymore. They're trusting their girlfriends, their feminine friends. So masculines, watch for that, because that is a testament of trustworthiness. Oh, so beautiful. I'm going to get one more card from the Mystical Shaman Oracle for the closing here. 111 again. Wait for it. 11111. What can we see for Mystical Shaman Oracle? We are getting the Gatherer. Look at that autumn, pumpkins, October thing here. So this is in the, 21st of October I'm getting as a date here. That's my dad's birthday. Aw. Okay. 21. My dad's a divine masculine for sure. Okay, the gatherer. Before we cultivated grains, we collected the wild bounty of nature. The gatherer finds abundant seeds, nuts, berries, and wild greens where the ordinary person only sees barren soil. The gatherer is the provider, the forager, and the gardener who collects roots and vegetables for the long winter when game is scarce. They do not hoard, trusting the bounty around them. So there is always enough. This is that energetic abundance that's coming in that has not so much to do with the financial aspects, although that's when financial flow can happen, is when we don't focus on a shortage or a lack. That's also when this trust can come in, that where this relationship can really be ascended and be joyfully aligned with, where we're not in the fear that it could be taken or that there's not enough or that we're not worthy. This is really a reminder that everything that we need is right in front of us at all times. There is always a way. It came out on the neutral, so I'm going to read a little bit more here. Look at the resources you have close at hand. This is a time of abundance. Everything around you is ripe and ready. Banish the notions of scarcity that have limited your choices and colored your destiny. Pack your food for the winter and start with the low-hanging fruit that's all around you. So masculines, feminines, everything we need is right here. It's all risen up right to meet us here. The time is now. Do not wander too far afield in the search for what Spirit has already provided. Practice paying it forward, being thankful in advance of receiving. If you are in scarcity mindset, open your heart and look beyond current conditions, and you will find the bounty being offered to you. Practice sharing, not hoarding. So masculines, be generous with your feminine. Feminines, be generous with your masculine. And that message, it does hit from one or the other side of the coin, because masculines, be generous, give more of yourself, be more engaged, more present with your feminine. Feminines, give your masculine more space, more room, more sovereignty. You know, be generous that way. There's enough, everybody. It's all good. You don't have to hold back and you don't have to overdo. Beautiful message. Okay, wow, that was literally my favorite reading ever. Bye for now.